All right, great. We're live. Hey, parents, as you know, I'm Graham Matthews and I run Empowered STEM. And Empowered STEM is an A-level course provider, and we provide A-level courses in chemistry, biology, physics, and maths for those students who want to enroll in medical, dental, veterinary, financial, and engineering programs at the chosen university in the UK. So, as always, in these live streams, I always come in and I answer parent questions or parent concerns. And so this is another question that I've been asked and my team's been asked. The question is this. Tell us about the different tutoring options out there. All right, here we go. I'll convert it into a statement. Now, I've got to put in my opinion, because my lawyers told me I must put in my opinion. In my opinion, one-to-one tutoring is the worst option that you can get for your teen. If you have one-to-one tutoring, in my opinion, your teen is not likely to get the A or the A star in A-level chemistry, biology, physics, or maths, but let's just keep with A-level chemistry on this one. The reason is because let's look at what a one-to-one tutor is. One-to-one tutoring is this. Well, one-to-one tutoring is that it's a drain on your cash as a parent, and it's little results for your teen as a student. There's no sizzle. There's sizzle, but there's no steak. All right. So let me unpack this one. One-to-one tutoring is a drain on your cash. Why? Because unfortunately, one-to-one tutoring appeals to those parents that are caught in the cost trap. Now, recall last week, I said that there's those type of parents that think about education for their teen as a cost, and there's those type of parents who think about education for their teen as an investment. And unfortunately, one-to-one tutoring falls quite easily into the camp of those parents who are caught in the cost trap, because what they think they're doing is that they're saving money. But in the long run, they find out it costs them more money and it's a drain on their wallet. It's like just open up the wallet or the purse and all of your money just flows out of it. And your teen is going to come to you and shake their head and say, I'm not seeing the value. I'm not seeing the change in my grade that I want. They're not getting the results. Now, the reason, parents, that I'm a little blunt on this one, a little caring authority on this one, is because look at what's at stake. All right. I couldn't help that one because I just want to see what the autocorrect does with it. I really do. But look at what's at stake. What's at stake is your teen's grade in A-level chemistry, their choice of university that they can attend, the career paths they can have, and their earning potential. There's a lot at stake on this one. And what parents do who are caught in the cost trap is that they allow their teen to make the decision. And your teen is gambling. Your teen is gambling their grade, their academic future, and their earning potential based on the idea of, do they want to spend an hour a week with a one-on-one tutor? Now, again, parents, a little bit blunt on this one, but do you really think it's the best idea as a parent to let your teen make the decision on this one? Because to them, what they're thinking is, well, mom, dad, I don't need a tutor. I can work this out on my own. I got this handled. I don't spend any more time in school than I have to. It's that school life balance. And if, on a slim chance, it's like playing roulette or like blackjack, isn't it? If on a slim chance they're gambling everything and they get it right, then they win the house. They go, oh, fantastic. You know what? I got an A star, an A level chemistry. I didn't need a tutor. I saved an hour a week. Saved you some money. But as we all know, the odds in Vegas are stacked against you. And so it's more likely that they're not going to get the A or the A star without the use of a tutor. And if they get it wrong, we talked about this one yesterday. If they get it wrong, parents, what we're talking about is this, is that on the one hand, well, they're going to have to reset A-level chemistry. And even if they get an A or an A star the second time around, the medical schools in the UK are not going to accept resets. They prefer to go for the student who gets it right the first time. Or, and if they do a reset, they got to then go overseas for their medical degree. Or they can do a 3-year biomedical degree, a degree which they're not really interested in, do well in it, and then they can apply to medical school. So the plan was two things. Number one is the cost of one-to-one tuition versus the cost of having to pay for the reset, the private candidate, or at worst, paying for 3 years of tuition, which the last time I checked, about £27,000 to get a biomedical degree they're not interested in. That's just the cost. What about the time drain? An extra year doing a reset, an extra 3 years doing a biomedical degree. It's an awful lot at stake here, isn't it? And so this is the reason why I'm so blunt on this one. It's because parents, I care about you and I want to explain to you how it is so that you can make the correct choice and not be left in the dark, but make the right choice of seeing your student, your teen be successful. Okay. Now, let's actually look at a one-to-one tutor. What is a one-to-one tutor? A one-to-one tutor is this. A one-to-one tutor is a teacher who wants to make some money on the weekend. Either they need to pay off a credit card bill or they're saving up for a holiday. They've overextended themselves financially. Or it's a university student who wants to make some money on the weekend because it's easier than making money being a barista at a coffee shop. Okay. So again, this is what a one-to-one tutor is. And they're easy to find. If you type in A-level chemistry tutor into Google, you'll find them. They're all on websites where the tutor clearing websites, you can easily find them, okay? But the issue is that they don't have any skin in the game. They don't. They're not invested in your child emotionally. They're not invested in your child's grade to make sure they're doing everything they possibly can in order to make sure your child is successful. No, the only investment they have is making sure they get paid at the end of the hour because they've got to pay the credit card bill off or put it into the kitty to go save up for a holiday or some other expense. Something else, they don't have a plan. All right. Now, you say, well, come on, Graham, unpack this one. Well, the financial side of it, the fact there's no skin in the game, that's easy. They're just there for the money. They're not there to make sure your teen is successful. But the fact they don't have a plan, let's unpack it. And this one's really easy to do. Look, all you got to do is this, is ask them. So when your teen comes to you, this is normally what happens. Your teen will come to you in a state of emotional distress. Mom, Dad, I'm not getting a grade in A-level chemistry. I'm putting all the hours in. I don't know what's going wrong. My teacher at school doesn't explain it. I need some help. And as a parent, you automatically go, right, I'm going to get a tutor. You Google a tutor, you find a tutor on a tutoring website. And one thing you notice about these tutoring websites, by the way, is that it's like shopping on Amazon. It's a race to the bottom when it comes to cost, hourly rate. Now, I can tell you, parents, I live in the outskirts of London. The going rate for an A-level chemistry tutor is £40 an hour. You can find A-level chemistry tutors on these tutor clearing websites for £20 an hour. Really? No, look, parents, you just got to think about this one and think, yes, that doesn't really make sense, does it? If the going rate's £40 an hour and they're £20 an hour, I wonder what the quality's like. And then you talk to them and just ask them the question. So what's your plan to help my son and my daughter get back on track in A-level chemistry? We're going for the A star. They'll say, well, you know what? What I'm going to do is this. I'll show up once a week, just an hour. You just need an hour a week. I'll show up once a week. I'll ask them what they're working on, and they'll tell me. And then I'll do a micro teach. They love using the phrase micro teach. I'll consolidate knowledge. Take about 10 minutes. Okay. And then I'll ask them, what are they working on at school for homework? And I'll get them started, prime the engine, if you would. Okay. And then, well, what I'll do is I'll ask them to go out to the websites and find some past paper questions. All the teenagers know where that is these days. They can work on them. And if they have any questions, they can just ask me. Oh, okay. And you know what? What I'll do is I'll make sure that your teen gets caught up in school and is following the teacher's plan. And as a parent, because you're making an emotional decision, you go, oh, seriously, brilliant. This is fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted to hear. Yes, it may be what you wanted to hear, but does it actually make any sense? Or is it a bit glib? Let's go look at it. Your teen has had 3 hours worth of chemistry teaching at college. 2 90-minute sessions, right? So the teacher has spent 90 minutes teaching a concept to your teen. Say it's thermodynamics. And the tutor can recap it and make sure your teen can understand it in 10 minutes. I mean, come on, parents. If the teen doesn't get it in 90 minutes, how are they going to get it in 10 minutes? There's always the same tired explanation. They're not, are they? So it doesn't make any sense. And then they're going to help your teen with the homework. Yes. Now, the real reason behind this one is this. They don't have any time to put lesson plans or resources together because they get paid by the hour. And so what they're trying to do is offload all the work onto your teen, your son, your daughter. And so your son, your daughter doesn't have any extra practice questions they can work on with the tutor. They've just got to go straight into the homework. And then they go, well, I've done that. Check. Done that. There you go. Done my homework for the week. Yes. Did we actually learn anything? No. And then your teen has to go out and find some past paper questions, do them, mark them themselves, And if there's any questions they can ask, well, how much less interaction do you want from a tutor? They have to find the papers, do the questions, mark them themselves, and then if they have any questions, they can bring it up at the next lesson. Doesn't sound value for money to me. I want this idea that they've got about keeping up with the teacher's plan. All right, let me explain to you the fallacy of this one. All right, here we go. You know what the teacher's plan is in school? The teacher's plan in school is to make sure the average grade in the mark book is a C. Because if the average grade is a C, C is an average grade, they must be doing all right. And you and I both know, parents, that a C stands for could have gone to medical school. And then they've been told by the head of departments, by the school board, we don't want anybody failing now, do we? So they've got to spend all of their time working with the failing students who unfortunately have the D, E, or the U. And if they can get them not failing closer to a C, well, that's great. Now, this is a question, by the way, parents, you want to ask your teacher at the next parent-teacher conference. What are you doing for those students who want to earn an A or an A star? And they'll look at you and go, oh, what we do is we do extension activities, which is, well, we just give them some more difficult questions to do and say, well, when you work in a group and do these difficult questions, and I'll work with those students that need a bit more support. In other words, get a C average in the class. And you know what the number 2 problem is with teachers teaching in the classroom? Is that they run out of time. At the end of the year, at the end of the course, when the most difficult topics are there, this is when they run out of time and they have to speed up because legally they have to cover the material. Okay, cover being kind of a loose word. So would I hire a tutor who doesn't have any skin in the game and whose plan is to offload as much work as they can to my son, my daughter, and follow the teacher's plan at school, which is to get a C, which is get them through as much material as they can and rush at the end, make sure nobody fail? No, I wouldn't. Well, let's go look at what happens from the point of view of your son or your daughter do it with one-to-one tuition. What normally happens is this, is that the first couple of sessions are okay. And then after that, you start hearing the, Mom, Dad, I'm not really getting anything from working with a tutor. Well, of course they're not. Because they've got a 10-minute recap of a concept they don't understand. They've been shown how to do the homework. There's no application of knowledge. And they're having to do all the work on the outside themselves. There's no additional support. Because the one-to-one tutor, they can't budget for it in their time. And they're trying to get the highest hourly rate that they can sell for. Okay? Now, parents, I will admit, on this one, I'm a little blunt. I am, hands down, I'm a little blunt. And it's a really simple reason for it. I want you to make the right decision when you're hiring a tutor for your teen. Okay? Now, we said there's those parents that think of education as a cost, and there's those parents that think of education as an investment. And those parents that think of education as a cost, unfortunately, they're making an emotional decision, and the one-to-one tutoring is really appealing to them. The problem is that they don't get the result they want for the teen. How do we know? Simple. In February, we see all the parents that spent the money on one-to-one tuition come to us and they go, Graham, seriously, do you know how much money I spent on one-to-one tuition for my child? Now, you know that I want them to do well. Absolutely. And I bet it was a lot of money, wasn't it? It was. And you know what? They didn't see any value in it at all, and they didn't get the result. What am I going to do? Well, I'm glad that you asked. And then I explained to them how we can help. So, parents, if what I'm saying to you in these live streams, if it resonates with you, if you think, actually, what Graham's talking about does make sense, then what I need you to do is reach out to us on this platform. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Pop over to Facebook, leave us a message. A member of my team will call you today, have a conversation with you, and answer all of your questions. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.